My folks made me give half of my salary to my favored sibling. Decades afterward, I eventually achieved my payback during my marriage ceremony. I'm called Elena, and I'm 30 years of age. I've consistently experienced a difficult relationship with my junior brother, Alex, who is 28 years old and a guy. As kids, our guardians always favored him, leading to plenty of disputes among us. They would commend Alex for even minor successes while hardly acknowledging mine. Our household interactions weren't constantly this way. In my early years, prior to Alex's arrival, my guardians ensured I felt cherished and backed. They'd escort me to the playground, share nighttime stories, and happily display my drawings on the refrigerator. But all that shifted once Alex arrived. Alex was perpetually meant to be the preferred one. Our guardians worshipped him, often overlooking my requirements along the way. As we matured, the bias only intensified. I clearly remember my 10th birthday celebration. I'd been pleading for a bike for ages, dropping hints and cutting out ads from publications around the home. When the special occasion came, I excitedly unwrapped my gifts, only to find garments and novels. My guardians said a bike was too costly. Just a fortnight later, they gifted Alex a shiny new bicycle without any particular cause. When I asked why he received one and I didn't, they replied, "Alex requires more physical activity. You're okay without it." This routine continued through our youth. When I achieved high grades in junior high, my guardians scarcely glanced at the award. When Alex got a B+ on one exam, the whole household dined out to mark the occasion. As we entered our teens, the difference in treatment grew more obvious. At 16, I landed my initial part-time position at a local library. I was thrilled to have my own earnings at last and started setting aside for university. Yet my joy didn't last long. Alex, aged 13 then, complained to our guardians that it wasn't fair I had spending cash while he lacked it. Rather than telling him to wait till he was mature enough for employment, our guardians imposed an absurd demand. They insisted I hand over half my monthly earnings to Alex. I was shocked and tried to object, but they warned they'd make me quit if I didn't comply. Unwillingly, I agreed, seeing my brother squander half my earned funds on games and snacks. This event set the tone for Alex to believe he deserved my things. During secondary school, he'd often take my items without asking, like outfits, gadgets, and even my car after I got my permit. If I complained, my guardians would scold me about the importance of sharing with my sibling. They never appeared to believe Alex needed to respect others' belongings. In spite of the ongoing partiality, I worked diligently in studies, thinking scholastic success would finally earn me some notice from my guardians. When I got into my ideal university with a partial grant, I was elated. I rushed home to inform my guardians, anticipating a pleased response. Instead, they gave a lukewarm reply, saying, "That's good, dear," before quickly turning the talk to Alex's recent soccer match. On the other hand, when Alex got accepted to a nearby junior college years later, our guardians organized a grand party. They welcomed all relatives, arranged food service, and even brought in musicians. As I saw them rejoice over Alex's average achievement, I couldn't avoid feeling wounded and bitter. The last trigger happened in my sophomore year at university. I'd been scrimping for months to buy a premium camera for my photo course. Photography turned into my hobby, a creative escape to handle the pressure from my home life. I'd researched thoroughly and finally found the ideal model within my funds. I came back for holiday break, eager to make the buy at last. But when I checked my savings, a big chunk was gone. I soon learned Alex had stolen the cash without consent to get a new game system. When I challenged him, he brushed it off, saying I could just save again. Our guardians wouldn't make him return it or compensate me, brushing off my distress with a casual, "You should have concealed your funds better." This episode was my limit. I realized no matter my efforts, I'd never be important in my family. After that, I pulled away as much as I could. I took additional work to fund my studies, seldom visiting home. When I did, Alex made sarcastic comments about how I acted superior to the family. Our guardians never corrected him, always noting how I'd become aloof and distant. Despite the mental strain, I finished with distinction and secured a solid role in advertising. At my workplace, I encountered Liam, a 32-year-old man who became my anchor and greatest ally. We've been together for 5 years, and he's been very understanding of my home situation. Liam's relatives are warm and inclusive, showing what normal family bonds look like. Liam asked for my hand 6 months back on a surprise short trip. It was a beautiful instant, and I was thrilled to start organizing our life ahead. But the joy of our betrothal was soon overshadowed by the anxiety of managing my family in the marriage prep. After much reflection and debate, I chose not to include Alex or my guardians in the event. I desire our memorable day to be filled with affection and hope, not the bitterness and resentment that has marked my ties with my family. Last week, my mom rang me crying, demanding why they hadn't gotten invites yet. I inhaled deeply and explained that, considering our history, I didn't feel at ease with them there. She called me self-centered and accused me of penalizing them, ignoring my emotions as always. My dad then phoned, saying I was breaking Alex's spirit by leaving him out of such an important event. Evidently, Alex had been boasting he'd be my groomsman, even though we hadn't talked in ages. The boldness of his presumption left me amazed. I stood my ground and said my choice was set. This led to Alex flooding my device with furious messages, insulting me thoroughly. He claimed I was envious of him and trying to seem important. It seemed he'd rewritten our childhood in his mind, portraying himself as the injured party. My guardians have warned they'd remove me from their inheritance if I don't ask them all to the ceremony. That might have swayed me before, but I no longer seek or desire anything from them. Liam backs my choice completely, seeing how poisonous my family interactions are. He's volunteered to manage any more talks with them to shield me from their scheming ways. Some friends, though, have suggested I just invite them to keep harmony. They say without family at my wedding, I'll regret it later. Their words have planted uncertainty in my head. Am I too severe? Should I offer one more opportunity? But then I recall all the suffering and letdown, and I'm reminded why I chose this initially. I know this is a lengthy account, but I thought it essential to give context for my choice. So Reddit, am I wrong for not letting my brother and parents come to my wedding? Update 1. I want to express gratitude to all for the huge encouragement on my first post. Your comments and advice have strengthened me in this hard period. I wish to share an update on matters, as there have been key developments in recent weeks. After further talks with Liam, I resolved to stick with my choice not to invite Alex or my parents to the event. But Liam suggested I meet them face-to-face to clarify my reasons, which might offer closure for everyone. Though reluctant, I figured it was worth trying. We picked a neutral location, a calm coffee shop in a neighboring area. I showed up with Liam, feeling nervous yet resolute. My parents and Alex were there already, with my mom's eyes swollen from tears and my dad wearing his typical frowning expression. Alex, unexpectedly, seemed more subdued than anticipated. Right after we sat, my mom launched into a weeping rant about family bonds and how I was tearing us apart. My dad jumped in with comments on my ingratitude. I allowed them to vent while breathing steadily to stay composed. When they finally quieted, I calmly stated my position. I mentioned specific cases of how they'd hurt me over time, like the camera event and the constant bias. I told them that, though I loved them, I didn't believe our bond justified their presence at my wedding. Surprisingly, Alex spoke softly. He confessed he'd deliberately damaged my camera in university. He admitted he'd always felt threatened by my school success and feared I was outpacing him by attending college. He said he wanted to humble me to boost himself. The group fell quiet after this disclosure. Our parents looked shocked, as if seeing our interactions anew. My mom tried to smooth it over by saying, well, that was ages ago, we should forget the past. But I refused. I noted that Alex's confession proved my view of our family's harmful patterns. My dad then tried a different tactic. He proposed funding the whole ceremony if we let them come. This monetary bribe surprised me. I turned it down, emphasizing it wasn't about finances, but about being with true backers. Alex seemed truly upset by this. He started ranting about how I'd always believed I was better than the family, and I'd regret excluding them. It was like his earlier regret vanished, swapped with the same anger and spite. Then Liam, who'd been quietly helpful the whole time, suggested we depart. As we rose, my mom clutched my arm and pleaded, weeping, if this meant I was cutting them off forever. I truthfully said I wasn't sure, but I required time to recover and reflect. In the days after this gathering, my phone has been non-stop with texts from distant relatives. Alex and my parents seem to have spread their twisted story, saying I'm having a breakdown and trying to ruin the family. My aunt even rang to advise delaying the wedding till I regain sense. The ongoing barrage of communications has been draining. I've sometimes doubted my choice, wondering if I'm exaggerating, but then I think of the years of pain and dismissal, and I know I'm right for myself. Liam has been my pillar through it. How my family acted at the meeting only solidified his backing of my choice. He proposed a short vacation to escape the chaos and nurture our bond. We went to a quaint coastal spot a few hours off. On our outing, we strolled the shore, sampled local foods, and just relished each other's presence without family issues looming. One night, watching the sunset, Liam said how proud he was of me for defending myself. He noted we're building our own family, grounded in respect and care. This escape was exactly what I needed to affirm my choice and look to our bright future. We even talked about relocating post-wedding for a new beginning, away from my family's toxic reminders. Upon returning, I made the tough call to block my family's contacts and online accounts. It seemed drastic, but I knew I must protect my serenity. As the ceremony nears, we've taken measures to ensure smooth proceedings. We've engaged guards for the site in case uninvited people appear. We've also secured all supplier logins with codes so no one can alter plans. It's sad we must do this, but I want to be ready for anything. With the date drawing close, I'm aiming to highlight the good, wedding the man I love amid chosen family. Yes, I'm still sad about my birth family, but I'm accepting I can't alter them or force their value of me. All I can do is advance and create the life and kin I merit. Thanks for your ongoing aid. It means a lot to have folks validate my emotions after years of family denial. I'll share another update post-ceremony to report how it went. Update 2. It's nearly a month since my last update, and I wanted to report some advancements with my family and our marriage prep. First, some positive news. Liam and I have settled most details for our ceremony, and we're both thrilled. We've opted for a tinier gathering than first planned, with just our dearest pals and Liam's relatives present. This makes it much more personal and special. We've picked a beautiful outdoor space for the vows and party. The flower expert has made stunning displays with my top blooms, and we've set a meal plan matching our tastes. Liam and I have rehearsed our initial dance, leading to lots of giggles and mishaps, but it's been a great stress reliever from the family mess. Now for the negative part. Despite my clear boundaries, my family keeps meddling in our plans. Last week, my mom appeared unannounced at my job. I was in a session when a coworker fetched me, saying an upset lady in the entrance demanded to see me. When I reached the lobby, I found my mom sobbing, causing a scene. She was weeping and imploring me to rethink, saying she'd already bought a dress and couldn't bear missing her daughter walk the aisle. She'd brought old picture books from my youth, thinking views of better days might sway me. I was embarrassed and furious she'd surprise me at work like that. I ordered her to go and warned if she did something similar again, I'd summon guards. She left crying, and I felt uneasy and distracted the rest of the day. My boss was sympathetic, but I couldn't shake the shame. A few days post this, Alex emailed me at length. Unlike his prior rage-filled notes, this seemed more thoughtful. He wrote about reflecting much since our cafe meet. He owned up to being a bad sibling as we grew and vowed to fix it. Alex detailed how he'd felt eclipsed by my successes and lashed out from his insecurities. He even proposed reimbursing for the camera he ruined years back, saying he'd looked up the type and figured its present worth. While I valued the effort and clear introspection, I couldn't help feeling it was insufficient and overdue. Years of damage and grudge don't vanish with one message, however sincere. I replied, appreciating his regret but saying I needed distance and my wedding decision stood. Sadly, matters worsened when I learned Alex had somehow gotten our venue's details. The site manager called me, puzzled. She said someone posing as Liam had rung and tried to add 3 guests. Luckily, the manager was cautious and checked with me first. I was stunned Alex went so far. It seemed a huge breach of my limits, and I questioned if his apology was real or another ploy. This event reinforced my resolve not to include them. Liam was furious when I told him of Alex's deception try. He suggested pursuing a protection order, worried my family might crash the event. We're weighing options, but I'm wary of legal steps and less vital. The idea of suing my own kin, however warranted, feels major. On a brighter note, Liam's relatives have been incredibly helpful through this. Last weekend, his folks invited me for a meal, and his mom took me aside for a chat. She said she already saw me as a child and was proud I stood up for myself. It was heartwarming to feel so welcomed and valued by them, especially amid my family's deeds. As the ceremony nears, I'm striving to emphasize the joyful and not let my family's actions dim this happy time. Liam and I have started pre-wedding therapy, which has helped process events and boost our talks. We've discussed our future dreams and how we want our bond to differ from my upbringing. We've also decided on special plans for our pre-wedding parties. Instead of big bashes, we've booked a private culinary session for us and our group. It's great to make fresh customs that matter to us, not bow to others' views.